spoke about violence. And one of my criticisms has always been this concept of Ubuntu and being an African is almost always anti-violence. And maybe that is one of the weaknesses we have.
No.
Sorry, I mean violence in the context of what you were saying.
I am with you. Ubuntu does not mean we did not go to war. Ubuntu does not mean we did not protect our land. Ubuntu does not mean that if someone was killed in the village there, the other village would not pick up its spears when the people have failed to atone for what they have done.
Yes.
War was inevitable. So Ubuntu is not docility. Otherwise, why are we talking about spears and shields and chants of war? So Ubuntu must not be abused as a docile state of an African.
Yes.
We're bowing down. No. Ubuntu is dignity that says you respect me because I respect you.
Is it not just defense, that violence, versus, you said in America, maybe Europe, where they intentionally go out of their way? The idea right now is for Africans to reclaim Africa. No one that I've ever heard of has ever spoken of an agenda of colonizing Asia, Europe, America as an African and say, look, while they're busy having fun on our continent, maybe to attain the power they attained or to reclaim whatever power we have, we're going to send small groups to go and colonize, whether as Nigerians.
I know we spoke about this the other day, and I think many people got offended that if these white people don't change and they don't change fast, they now have an educated group of Africans who are equally scrupulous, equally sharp-minded like they are.
Yes.
And me and you, we share the same idea on that. If these guys don't change, we will wipe them off the face of the earth. All it takes right now is for me to start a campaign that says, let every black man that is there get a white woman as a second wife. Or let all the young men that are there marry white women. It takes one generation, and once they cross over that line, the white community will disappear on the face of the earth. Unfortunately, the clans, what do you call them? Clan.
The Ku Klux Klan, the KKK.
They know it. That's why
white supremacy.
Urania is a mild version of the KKK. It's about preservation. We don't want. But if you guys are allowed to preserve yourself, why is everyone else not allowed to preserve themselves? That's the real critical question that KKK and all those people would think that they've right. If the white people think that they own the economy of South Africa, what makes you think that the Africans also don't want to own the economy? If the white people think they own the banks, what makes you, if vets and other institutions, white institutions, think that they have a right of existence, then what makes you think that Africans also don't want the same thing? You want good cars, we want them too. You want beautiful houses, we want them too. We want our children go to school. No, we want even to build our own schools also. So this sense of, I don't respect you, because and again, this is where religion really messes up this thing to a level you can't understand. Because it is Christianity that taught the Afrikaner, when he came here, that God was cooking people in a pot. Humanity was in a pot. This is on paper.
Yeah.
The Dutch Reformed theology. So he took out the whites first. That's why they are white. The next, he took out the Indians and the coloreds. That's why they're light in complexion. He thought he was going to take out the blacks. Then the story says he forgot the blacks in the bottom of the pot. That's why they bent and they are black.
Penny.
Now, then Christianity says, you are a chosen nation.
Oh, the covenant.
To this group now. You are a chosen nation. And listen to dangerous verses. Wherever your foot will go, I'll give you that land. I'll send you to the land of the Gentiles who don't know, and I'll give you that land. And then the Afrikaner, when he comes into South Africa, he says, God gave us this land. And God gave them the land because the people they found on the land were pagan and did not believe in Jesus. And because they believed in Jesus and they are the children of the Most High, therefore they have power and authority over the people that are non-believers.
The Kaffir.
I want you to understand.
Is a non-believer.
This is serious because the whole idea of apartheid is not politics. It's religion. Therefore, if you don't believe in Jesus, you don't deserve dignity, you don't deserve respect, you don't deserve land. And me who believe in Jesus, as that other white man from Harry Smith, whatever it is, spoke out blatantly.
Lord Smith.
Not Lord Smith, man. This pastor who does crusades there, who puts on a big hat.
Oh, Buchanan.
Spoke up and he said, only us,
the covenant.
Afrikaners and white people made a covenant with God. Oh, wow.
That's
And the
becoming,
rest of you, and then you'd come back a few days, of course, and apologize for religious reasons. But he had already said it, and we heard him. And by saying that the only ones with the covenant, it means that all of us, 50 million later, who don't have a covenant with God, we don't have access to water, we don't have access to land, we don't have access to respect and dignity. And then the Constitution is written not for the 50 million, it's written to protect the rights of the 2 million.
So I wanna go on, for people, some people have told me that Kaffer is a term for a non-believer, the derogatory term for
That's
black
an
people.
Islamic word, yeah. Kaffer.
Yeah. And I'm now thinking to what you're saying about apartheid being religious and not so much political.
And by the way, while I'm battling on that,
Yes.
that is the same ideology that the United Nations Israel, I cannot call them the biblical Israel, the United Nations Israel.
Yes.
Because when they were 1947, when they were starting Israel, they looked for those in Europe who wanted to relocate.
That's the Balfour.
Yes. Then some of the Europeans who wanted to come and occupy, and they all claimed to be Israelis. But we know in the Ark they are not Israelis. They are Ashkenazis and a few Europeans. And even parts of some of the Nazis are there also. But that's a conversation for another day. And the same ideology of apartheid, where according to Genesis 12 and 15, Abraham, go to a land that I'll show you. I'll give you that land.
Canaan.
Yeah, the land of Canaan. And Abraham gets here and their people. And God has given his favorite child a land that belongs to another. Now, this is a painful thing, Paniel. Here's a glass of water. Here's some water. Take it for yourself. Take that water. Come on, sit, my brother. Yeah, come on, sit, my brother.
Yeah.
And then the same water that I gave to him.
This is your water
I
now.
give you that water. Take it. I'm starting conflict. And the Bible story is founded right there that if God was really a God of love, how do you give one nation a piece of land? And you take the same land and give it to another nation. Now for 3,000 past years, guns and spears have been flying in that space. And then you come around with John 3:16, for God so loved the world. Go and tell that passage to the Palestinians.